season 2 comes along and you get Frog Lady.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, what was your reaction to that? Because you're like, I'm back.
Yeah, because I just, after season 1, there's no guarantees ever that you're coming back. And I assumed, well, I guess I'm not, and I'm really sad, but it's okay because I'm on board party, so I'm just gonna focus. Yeah, when they called me and said, there's this little character and, she's a frog and a lady. In my head, I'm thinking of John and Dave, and it's like, okay, is this a dare or a double dog dare?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, let's see what she can do with this one.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, I'm up for it. Let me see what this character is. And I did go to Legacy Effects, and we tried to figure out whether we wanted to try anything ever on all fours, almost, more frog-like movement. It didn't work. And it was like, not to mention, I was going to have to try to keep up with Mando, and especially when we were running away from the ice spiders, there was just no way. So we tried that. We had a movement test with that. And then once my whole costume was all put together, they brought me on for my own little screen test with one of the stand-ins for Mando to see us side by side and to try to start to develop what her movement and physicality is. It helped a little bit, but for me, it's like I have to be in the scene and the dialogue to really try to bring that to life and bring that together. So
yeah. And speaking of that, you brought a couple of props with you.
I did.
You want to show those on screen real quick? What do we got here? What's the little?
Well, these are actually, they were a gift. My good friend Chris Bartlett, who does all of the droids for my birthday a few years ago. There's this amazing artist on Instagram. His handle is Framdam. He builds replicas of characters. So, and everybody asked me, are these, from the shoot? I was like, no, no, they're not. But yeah, these are, again, the hands, and I could show. So the hands that they made for her are super, super, super delicate. And my very first, it's the scene, her introduction scene, and it was rough because the opening of that scene is Amy Sedaris, her character Pelly, and they have a lot of dialogue, and so I was back there with her on the stairs, and they were giving me air, and then when they're like, okay, rolling, they have to take my air away, and I just had to sit there, and just try to be calm, and then my team helped me up and pulled the crate up, and I got in my spot, and then it was my turn to, come out. And then it was just a long, long scene without air. And then to add to that, the crate is really heavy. And the hands, this part of the hero hands is super, super delicate. I was physically holding on to the crate at first, and then one of my puppeteers, Tamara, came over and she's like, you can't hold it because you're tearing your hands. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And so then for the rest of that day, I had to kind of tuck that in and then pretend hold, and then the weight of that crate was just on my low back. And so on top of everything else, I'm just breathe. Just little things like that people don't realize and don't take into consideration. So I love how she turned out, but she was a hard one to, work through and navigate with on set. It was a lot. So
yeah, and you also brought this amazing mask. You want to talk about this?
Sure. Again, that was part of my birthday present from a few years ago. It's a, replica. He did a beautiful job. It's very similar to that. But But, you know, it's interesting with this character. What people don't realize is I was totally blind. The moment they shut the mouth, I don't see anything. So I have to, and I've done this before, so it wasn't challenging, this type of work, but I had to count my steps at first from the moment I like peek out and it's like, hi, you know, and then walk towards Mando and Peli to hit my mark. You know, and I kind of get into a rhythm, so I do fill it out eventually. I don't have to count in my head, but it's like knowing, you know, movement wise, I would get in my place and do that and a couple side steps and then 7 to 8 steps towards my mark. And yeah, so it's challenging.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit before too about the scene where you and Mando are running from these spiders and how intense that scene was.
Yeah.
In regards to the actual leaping, were you on some wires and how did that get created?
That was ILM, actually, Industrial Light and Magic.
Okay.
I helped them out as far as my friend Joe from ILM came through, and he's like, we need you to help her get into the run, and then at the end of the run, like kind of be on all fours and then get back up so that there's a seamless transition there. But, you know, fortunately that was ILM because there's no way I could do that part.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Were you also, what was that scene like? You were in costume still, but you were in the hot tub with your little babies.
Mm-hmm. That was, I think, one of the hardest days of my life. Because I would get super hot in the costume. And so then they would drop the temp of the water down. And then it was just a tricky day. We were in the volume and they were having trouble with the screen. So then it would then be too much of a break and I wasn't moving and I wasn't working. And so then I would get cold. Then they would bring the water temp up. I also had to get out of the water and into my costume, you know, dry costume and do some work. Then I had to get back into the wet one and it was cold. And yeah, it was in that day, they chose to shoot that on a Friday and it became well known into the shoots that we had what we called Fraturdays, which started at, you know, Friday, 11 a.m., but on that shoot day in the water and stuff, we didn't wrap until almost 3 a.m. on Saturday morning. So.
Where was the location for that? Because you're in like the mountains basically, but where was the set?
Manhattan Beach.
Really?
So, yeah.
Where?
It was on the volume. It was on a stage.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a little baby right here too,
I
huh?
do. This little guy, one of the wonderful, his name is Ray from Spain. Just a fan. He made it for me. And I went to Spain a couple of years ago and he brought it for me. Actually, I always have them because I'm proud of what they do. They sign it too.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So he's like, wait, what? You want me to sign it? It's like, yeah, it's your work.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
this is really cute.
It is cute.
He's always like, you know, everybody's like, oh my goodness, where can I get that?
Yeah. Now, performing as the Frog Lady, you did a lot of work also with Grogu.
Yes.
How was that for you?
I loved it. And I
Yeah.
always have to explain because people are upset that he was, you know, eating the eggs.
Yeah.
But I was like, this little baby, like Mando, all they've ever known in life is survival, is just trying to survive life. And Mando's still, he's just trying to get him to where he needs to go. He has no training or understanding of what it is to be a dad, what it is to be a parent. He's just laser beam focused on trying to get this little being to a Jedi. And even when Grogu standing by the big giant piece of meat on that like spigot and he's like,
Yeah.
because he's hungry.
Yeah.